So I thought I'd try something a little different today, and instead of talking real estate and housing market, I thought I'd share with you 15 celebrities and stars from Tennessee. Most of them are from Knoxville, Tennessee. So let's get started. Your local real estate pro and relocation expert for East Tennessee. Today I'm shooting from a chair, no green screen. Just wanted to make a quick video, and we're going to talk about 15 celebrities from Tennessee. Most of them, again, from Knoxville, Tennessee. The title is Knoxville, Tennessee. So look, you might think Tennessee only develops country music, good whiskey, but listen, we are the birthplace and origin of many famous people, entrepreneurs, athletes, superstars, that are still very popular today. Sure, we do make great country music. We are the country music capital, and Tennessee whiskey is the best. But I thought it would be fun to talk about 15 famous people, celebrities, and stars from Tennessee. So that's what we're going to do, starting with number one, and that's Dolly Parton. She is from Sevierville, which is pretty much not right next to Knoxville. And of course, I had to drop the queen of the Smokies, the queen of country music. Dolly Parton was born in Sevier County and has had an incredible rags to riches story to share. It's worth looking into if you haven't read about it. Dolly is still super active in the area today, investing her time and her money into her hometown of Sevierville, creating jobs, creating commerce, building an economy in parks, recreations, and service industry. And people from all over the world come there to visit. Next up is one of my favorite screenwriters and directors, and that's Quentin Tarantino. Quentin Tarantino was born in Knoxville in 1963. He didn't live here long, moving to LA in 1966. However, if you've watched any of Tarantino's movies, there's always a reference to Knoxville in almost all of them. It's usually the place the criminals are trying to escape to. I don't know why, unless they're planning to hide in the Smokies the rest of their existence. So there's a little assignment for you. Watch the movies and see if you can find those. Next up is Johnny Knoxville. Yes, the guy from Jackass is from Jackass to becoming a pretty high-profile movie star, acting alongside Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, Jackie Chan, Will Smith. Johnny Knoxville was born in South Knoxville in 1971 and attended South Doyle High School. He lived here until 1989 when he moved to LA to form Jackass and eventually become a movie star. Next up is Cormac McCarthy. Now, he is a writer. He is a famous person, but you might not have heard of him, but you've probably heard of his books that have been turned into movies, like No Country for Old Men, The Road, Child of God, and All the Pretty Horses, written by Cormac McCarthy, who, though was born in Rhode Island, was primarily raised in Knoxville, Tennessee. He got his college education at the University of Tennessee and eventually dropped out of UT to join the Air Force and then became a novelist. Cormac McCarthy is one of America's greatest novelists, and the spark to set him on that path happened in Knoxville. Next up is Megan Fox. And listen, love her or hate her, you got to admit there's something intriguing about this woman. Megan Fox, for me, it's not just her looks, which are great, but the fact that she is from Oak Ridge, Tennessee. Megan got started in acting in Kingston, Tennessee, where she was singing at a young age and doing a lot of dancing and also, sports as she was growing up in the area. If you know anything about her story, she was bullied a lot as a kid because she was a pretty girl that hung out with boys. And she persevered through the bullying to become a famous actress and a star today. She was born in Oak Ridge in 1986, where she lived until relocating to Florida and then eventually LA. Next up is Chris Blue. Chris Blue is an American soul singer, and he's the winner of the season 12 The Voice, and he moved to Knoxville at the age of 10 and started singing in church at the age of 3. He started preaching at the Peace and Goodwill Missionary Baptist Church in Knoxville and was ordained by the age of 15. Next up is Payton Manning. And before he became a NFL legend, Payton Manning was a legend here in Knoxville as a quarterback for the University of Tennessee. From 1994 to 1997, under the leadership of Phil Fulmer, Payton Manning was the quarterback for the University of Tennessee. Also in 1994, another legend came to Tennessee, myself. So we both got started around the same time. As you know, unless you don't follow football, Manning went on from the University of Tennessee to play for the Indianapolis Colts as the first overall draft pick in '98, becoming the second player in Tennessee school history to be drafted number 1 overall. He went on to play for the Colts for 13 full seasons before being sidelined for a neck injury. That happened around 2011, and then he went on to play for the Denver Broncos from 2012 to 2015. Now, Payton Manning is considered to be one of the greatest NFL quarterbacks of all time, and named the NFL's most valuable player 5 times, and a whole lot of other accolades. Next up is Tamika Catchings. She's a WNBA star and gold medalist. Tamika Catchings was born in New Jersey, where she chased her basketball dream, basically playing basketball since she was a kid, until she came to Knoxville to play for the Lady Vols in 1997 to 2001. During this time, she earned the Naismith College Player of the Year Award, the AP Player of the Year Award, and the USBWA Women's National Player of the Year Award. This girl's a superstar. She went on to play for the WNBA after being drafted in the 3rd overall by the Indiana Fever. She then went on to play for the USA women's basketball team in the 2004 Summer Olympic Games, helping them win a gold medal. Reggie White is up next, and he's another football star that came well before me and Payton Manning came to Tennessee. Reggie White was born in Chattanooga, Tennessee, about an hour south of Knoxville, and he played football growing up before his college football career started at the University of Tennessee. He was able to make it to the starting lineup in just his freshman year. After college, Reggie went on to play for the USFL League that eventually didn't make it, and he had to leave that. He only played there for 2 seasons, and then he went on to play for the Philadelphia Eagles, where he became a superstar sacking machine. And in 1985, he went to the NFL, played 8 seasons, 121 games, in which he picked up 124 sacks, becoming the Eagles' all-time sack leader. He also set records with 21 sacks in a single season. In '93, he went free agent and he signed with the Green Bay Packers and played for a $17 million contract. He helped the Packers win the Super Bowl 31 and went on to become a legend and after retiring from the football scene. Next up is a country music star, and this time it's not Dolly Parton, but Kenny Chesney. Not much of a country music fan myself, but I did like Kenny Chesney's songs when I first moved here. I kind of got turned on to him. This is a singer-songwriter, was born March 26, 1968 in Knoxville and was raised in Luttrell, which is North Knox County area. He studied advertising at ETSU, or East Tennessee State University, in Johnson City, where he was the member of a bluegrass program in the Lambda Chi Alpha fraternity, I guess Lambda Chi, Lambda Chi. He recorded his self-released demo album, Good Old Boy, at Heart in Bristol in 1989. He sold about 1,000 copies while playing local bars and clubs, and he used the money from that to buy his first real guitar. He moved to Nashville, Tennessee after college, and that's where he chased his country music dreams, becoming a resident performer at the Turf Honky Tonk Bar in the city's historic district. He was able to hit it big as a country music rising star in 1992 and went on to become an award-winning country music star and songwriter, which is still to this day what he's known for. Next up is Bessie Smith, and Bessie Smith is a blues singer renowned during the jazz age of the 1930s. She was born in Chattanooga, Tennessee, where she and her siblings were orphaned at a very young age and survived by entertaining and singing pedestrians on street corners. She began touring and performing in a group that included Ma Rainey, and then went out on her own, where she landed a recording career with Columbia Records. And that was in 1923. Sadly, her career was cut short after dying in a car crash at the age of 43. All right, this next group is not from Knoxville. They're actually from the Nashville area, but they're still worth mentioning, and that's Kings of Leon, one of my favorite bands. Kings of Leon formed in Nashville, Tennessee, and are rocking radios and streaming services to this day. The Follow Will brothers grew up in Oklahoma and then in Tennessee with their father and mother. They first started out trying to be a country music band, but it didn't really stick. And after meeting some other recording artists, their influences from immediate family, their focus changed to more of a kind of a rock genre band that they are today. Listen, before getting to the last few famous people and celebrities from Knoxville, Tennessee, I'd love for you to check out some homes that I've actually got listed on the market today. Their video tours you can watch by clicking right here or following a link in the description. Of course, as always, if you're thinking of moving to East Tennessee and you need a good realtor, or you got questions about the area, or you got questions about real estate in general, no matter where you are in the country, give me a shout. I'd love to help you out. I can either help you or I can connect you with someone in your area that's going to represent you and give you honest feedback. My contact information, as always, is floating around right here, or you can find it in a link in the description. And while you're here, make sure to hit the like and subscribe button. It's free. It really helps out. Next up is Howard Baker. And Howard Baker was an American politician, diplomat, and photographer who served as a United States Senator from Tennessee from 1967 to 1985. During his tenure, he rose to the rank of Senate Minority Leader and then Senate Majority Leader. A member of the Republican Party, Baker was the first Republican to be elected to the U.S. Senate in Tennessee since the Reconstruction era. Known in D.C. as the Great Conciliator, Baker was often regarded as one of the most successful senators in terms of brokering compromises. Now, if he were alive today and serving in Congress, he would be what a lot of people call a rhino. I don't really buy into that kind of stuff, but hey, to each their own, right? Next up is Patricia Neil. Patricia Neil was an American actress, and on the stage and the screen, she was well known for, among other roles, playing World War II widow Helen Benson in The Day the Earth Stood Still in 1951. Radio journalist Marcia Jeffries in A Face in the Crowd in 1957, and a wealthy matron Emily Eustace Fallinson in Breakfast at Tiffany's in 1961. And of course, the worn-out housekeeper Elma Brown in HUD 1963, for which she won an Academy Award for Best Actress. Neil grew up in Knoxville, Tennessee, where she attended Knoxville High School and studied drama at Northwestern, where she was a member of the Pi Beta Phi sorority. Next up is James Agee. James Agee was an American novelist, journalist, and poet, and screenwriter and film critic in the 1940s. Writing for Time, he was one of the most influential film critics in the United States. His autobiographical novel, A Death in the Family, written in 1957, won an Author of Posthumous in 1958 Pulitzer Prize. Agee is also known as a co-writer of the book Let Us Now Praise Famous Men, and as the screenwriter of the film classics, The African Queen and the Night of the Hunter. James Agee was born in Knoxville at Highland Avenue and 15th Street in what is now known as the Fort, or Fort Sanders neighborhood, which is made up today of mostly historic homes and modern apartments and multifamily homes that house a majority of the off-campus students from the University of Tennessee. Today, you can stroll through the fort and find the James Agee Park in the Fort Sanders neighborhood. Knoxville was Agee's childhood home and the setting for his novel, A Death in the Family. So as you can see, Tennessee spawns more than just hillbillies and moonshine. What other famous people do you know that are from Tennessee? Look it up, let me know, comment below. I could go on with more people that are famous from the Tennessee area, but we'll save that for a future video. So that's all I got for today. Thanks so much for watching.